With quality this high, we wouldn't do anything to hurt our guitars. Call us at 858 Guitars and get a custom instrument built with love.
It's that time of year again. Back to school. Goodbye summer, hello misery. Make your day substantially less terrible with a brand new Kiesel, shipped direct to your doorstep. Hey Mom and Dad, Billy here wants to shred his fingers off on an American custom guitar. Are you gonna stop him from becoming a rock star?
Or jazz star, or country star, or anything star.
It doesn't matter who you are. Back to school is the time to get yourself a Kiesel. Student, Kiesel. Teacher, Kiesel. Principal, Kiesel. Preschooler, Kiesel. Cowboy, Kiesel, Kiesel, Kiesel. Creature from a long, long time ago, Kiesel! Follow us to the Kiesel Zone.
Oh, we're gonna have a fun one today. Anyway, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Jeff Kiesel, Kiesel Guitars. I was literally just laughing and crying at the same time because that's how we do it here. We like to have a good time. Watching that intro video, the very funny intro video. So little surprises there, some cameos by Zach. Zach wasn't too thrilled. All of us are laughing pretty hard right now, except for Zach. Zach's over there shaking his head. So we got a good live for you today. I do have my deal of the hour, this really rad light speed, which I'll show off in detail in a little bit, but $1,400 shipped. How did I come up with the number 1,400? I don't know. 1,400 shipped right to your door in a case. And I will go over specs in a little bit, but if you know you already want that, then call my guys. I have an artist guitar here, a couple customer builds. I think 2 of these are customers, right? And then this one was something that I put through. So yeah, we got some cool things coming up. Some fun times, I guess. And anyhow, we'll dive right in. So let's kick it off with a customer build. And staying very festive with Easter right around the corner. This is for Jose Esperarza, I think I got it right. And the date on this is actually April the 12th. So we're early. Very good looking build here. Light pink, raw tone, roasted board, pink matching headstock. Just a gorgeous Aries. Love the white pickups, the white inlays, chrome hardware. It just goes very nice. Like everything about this build is just very classy looking. And it doesn't have to be a super expensive build for it to be a nice guitar. The Aries, those of you guys that maybe are new to the Kiesel and what we do here, slope neck heel. So you got that 4-bolt with the ferrules, the recessed ferrules. So you have that great access all the way to the 24th fret. We do make these Aries in 22. So if anybody's interested in 22 fret guitars, that is something we do. And we got a Mark Akuba over here. Who's this for? No backplate on it yet because it wasn't quite finished. This is for Joe. And we had a date of 3/31, which is tomorrow. We got to put a backplate on it, clean it up, and off it goes. So Joe got a Mark Akuba, an MO7X. The Mark Akuba is what makes these really special. Hello?
Hey.
Hi.
I got a guy that wants the deal of the hour.
You want the deal of the hour already sold and I haven't even shown it off?
Greg Scherer, he wants it.
Greg Scherer.
Yeah.
Greg Scherer is not sharing his guitar with you. This is going right to Greg. Specs on the deal of the hour for $1,400. Royal ebony fretboard, stainless steel jumbo frets, tropic satin finish. It's got the alder body and maple neck. No inlays on the top. And black pole pieces. So Greg, thank you so much, and enjoy. We'll be able to get this out for you tomorrow. Cool. Thanks, Flock. So a deal of the hour is gone. Figured that one would go pretty quick, being such a cool looking guitar. But Mark Akuba is back onto this one. When me and Mark worked on this guitar, one thing we wanted to do was make it affordable for you guys. You know, we all see those signature models out there for $3,000 to $7,000. Some of them, pretty sparsely optioned out too. And the thing with Mark is he said, look, I want my fans to be able to afford this guitar. I think if I remember correctly, the price on these is $1,649. It's either $1,649 or $1,699. Either way, a hell of a deal. Swamp ash body sides, maple quarter saw neck, raw tone finish, because that's what Mark plays. And you can get a lot of different colors in these. Anything from the surf green to light pink, hot pink, black, white, I think Kiesel Racing green. There's a few other colors. And then too, we even added to the Mark Akubos. You can get poplar pearl tops, flame maple tops, and several different finishes on them. So a very cool guitar. I say who it was for. Yeah, Joe Bligent. I don't know. I probably butchered that one, but nevertheless, a very rad guitar for a very rad player. Love Mark Akuba, such a great human being. Mark had a birthday a couple weeks ago. So anyway, that is an MO7X. And what do we got here? That's about to fall. Here's a build that I put through. It's not available, but a very cool Aries neck through. Entropic with the gloss. So kind of a cool comparison here where you can see both of these builds side by side, the gloss versus the satin. But Aries neck through. What I love about the Aries neck through is the fact that it actually is the neck through. Regular Aries are great guitars, love them, and a lot of people are big time bolt-on fans. I've always been a neck through fan. That access for days, sustain. I like tongue oil necks. So for me, the Aries having the neck through and a tongue oil neck is definitely the way to go. I love walnut necks. Probably my favorite necks that are made, not just that we offer. Matching headstock, reversed. Of course, you got to have the reversed headstock, but a really cool build. So something we don't really do is show off like just some builds we put through. And so this is one that I wanted to put through, just basic bridge pickup and volume knob only. So really, really cool build. All right, and deal of the hour. You guys, it's already gone, sorry. And this is for another good friend of mine, Mr. Lee McKinney. This is his guitar he wanted. It still has his acoustic setup in the bridge, and it's got 3 single coils. So this is something Lee wanted to be able to kind of get that, vintage Strat-like look and tone, but in his signature model. So his signatures are bolt-on, neck construction, and typically they're going to come with 2 humbuckers. The cool thing about them is you actually have, like I was saying before, the active control in the bridge system. So with the flip of a switch, a little mini switch, you can go from magnetic pickups, still having your 5-way switch to control those magnetics. You can go in the middle and get magnetics and acoustic, and then you can go just to acoustic. So you get a lot of tones in this guitar. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Lee's gonna use this for, whether it's his solo stuff or some boo. You have volume for the magnetics and volume for the acoustic. But a lightweight guitar, super light. This one is not, actually it is chambered because we did put a top on it. I was gonna say it's not chambered, but it is chambered. That's probably why it's that light. But have the black inlays in it, the contrast with that roasted maple fretboard and roasted maple neck. So if you guys are ever wanting something a little different than the standard guitars, I know a few people have bought Lee McKinney's and not gotten the standard flame tops that they come with, or the standard tops they come with. People have wanted to get solid color ones, and if you want something like this, all swamp ash, this is something we could do for you guys. So hopefully Lee got a chance to check this out. I tagged him in it, of course, last minute. Didn't really tell him we were going live with the guitar, but here we are. What?
He's actually in here on Instagram.
Oh, is he? What's up, Lee?
He says that it's gorgeous and it's perfect.
That's awesome. Man, I miss you, dude. Been talking to Lee, and one thing I didn't tell Lee is we're coming out to Texas very soon, the end of next month. I just found out yesterday or the day before, so we're definitely gonna have to get together. We're gonna be a little south of you guys, so hopefully you guys can make a little bit of a trip down. We're gonna be in a town called Beeville, which there's a race there. So I'll get with you later, though, about that, Lee. But looking forward to hopefully seeing you and Joe. Been way too damn long. Yeah, it sucks. That's the thing that I've missed the most about everything going on, is just not seeing friends and family as much as you normally would. I definitely was relieved we didn't have to do NAMM because it's a lot of work. But on the same token, all my friends and family that I get to see there, it's hard not to get to see everybody. So that's what I miss the most. And then, getting to see fans and meet new people and new artists and stuff is always great. But I definitely didn't miss the booth setup, tear down, all the preparations, all the running around like a chicken with my head cut off, for weeks and weeks. And we're busier than ever here. So last time I checked, we were 1,138 builds in the works, which is the most we've ever had in the works. We're working overtime every day. A lot of times we're working Saturdays, and we have more staff than we've ever had. So I got to thank you guys first and foremost for keeping us this busy. I think I kind of motored through everything, right? Yeah, showed everything off. So let me show Leah's guitar one more time. So now that I know he's on Instagram, get a little lower and show it off. And Lee's got another one rolling through here that should be done in next week or two. So even our artists, our builds are taking longer than normal as well for them. So let's do questions.
Austin Schroeder is asking, how would you compare Black Limbo, Alder, and Swamp Ash for a standard scale 7-string?
I mean, they're all pretty different. Swamp Ash has a lot of bass response, so a lot of the gent guys will gravitate towards Swamp Ash. Black Limbo is going to be a little more tight and more focused. And what was the other one? Was it Mahogany or?
The other one was Alder, Black Limbo, and
Alder.
Swamp Ash.
Yeah, Alder's right in the middle. So if you don't know what to get, I'd always recommend just sticking with Alder. Or if you're looking for something a little more warm and mid-range presence, check out Mahogany.
Craig is asking, hey Jeff, what kind of finish would you use on a Black Limbo body if you bought store-bought product, oil or something else?
If I didn't have the ability to do a high-quality finish, I would just oil it. You're better off just oiling things if you don't have the ability to really fill the wood properly, prime it properly, and then get a nice clean finish. I think less is more in that case.
What is raw tone? Is it poly, nitro, or some type of enamel?
Raw tone is a special process that we started doing, and it removes all of the things that plug up the wood grain. So it's going to be a poly top coat that seals up the wood.
Chandler's asking, does a build take longer if it has all gold hardware and an Evertune?
Well, a build can't have gold hardware and an Evertune. We don't do gold Evertunes. So that would be an Infinity build because we don't offer that. But no, builds don't take longer for a particular hardware unless we run out of it. And we're at our suppliers' mercy, basically, at the mercy of our suppliers. Sometimes our suppliers run out of stuff. Hipshot, Evertune, they run out of stuff. But we only offer black for Evertunes. You can get gold hardware on the rest of the guitar, but a black Evertune. We do that for some people.
What brands or products do you recommend for maintaining a tongue oil finished back of neck?
So we use Minwax tongue oil here. We actually have a YouTube video on, it's called Fretboard Care and Maintenance, I believe. You can use that same application to the back of the neck. You can check that out on our YouTube channel.
Can you make it cheaper to import to the UK, please?
That has nothing to do with me, man. That's your country has VAT tax. So my shipping that I charge you guys is only $70, which I lose a lot of money on already, and I'm gonna have to change that. So I keep saying I'm gonna have to change it, and one of these days I'm just gonna do it, because a lot of times it costs me $200 to ship you guys a guitar. I'm charging you $70. Well, that doesn't work, So I'm already doing everything I can and losing money on the freight. But what you're paying doesn't go to me. It goes to your government. So that's up to your government for the duties. So, obviously I charge you for the guitar and then I lose money on shipping. So I'm doing everything I can. I would definitely take advantage of the $70 shipping before it does finally go up. And once we go up, we'll probably just go to $200, because that's what it seems to cost us every time, is about $200.
Bashir is asking, would you have monthly installment options in the future?
No plans for that. We do have the Kiesel credit card, though.
Mike is asking, hi Jeff, what are the Polarity active pickups, and are they passive and active at the same time?
It's a great question. Polarities are our own pickup, and what makes them so special, in fact, I can grab, does this have it? No, just the Akubo. Let me grab the Akubo. What makes it so special is the fact that the pickup is wound just like a passive pickup. What I mean by that is it has the traditional wire on it, traditional slugs, And what we've done is we've wound it very flat sounding. And then we've used the card, the active card, not built into the pickup, but actually built into the guitar, a full-size card, and that shapes the sound. So the sound, without being active, would sound flat and you wouldn't want. So what we've done is we've shaped the sound. Think of it like a mixing console. We've already pre-mixed it to give you a great tone, and then you pull up and you can get a more classic, more calm sound out of the guitar. The Polarity system itself is really cool because you get all the advantage of a passive style sounding pickup, but the control of an active. You get the best of both. Where the other actives out there can't do what we do because they're selling you a pickup and they need to cram all the card and control into this tiny little pickup, the back of it. So you get a lot of compression and gating because of the miniaturization of components, where I use full-size components you'd find on a high-end mixing console. So that's the big difference. That's why the Polarities shine, and that's why so many guys are going, holy shit, I don't even like actives, but I love these. And that's where I'm at. I'm not an active pickup fan, but these things sound badass. So that's really the hot ticket with them. And you would not want to hear the pickup itself without the control and shaping of our module. That's what kind of the secret ingredient there. And they also do single coil mode too, true single coil, which the other pickups out there don't do that. So that's a pretty cool thing.
For any headless model, is it possible to do a left-handed strung righty?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's headless or has a headstock. We can do that for you. We have a charge for that though, not because of the stringing, but typically if you want side dots on the opposite side, depending on how you're holding it, it's something you're going to have to talk to the guys about.
I ordered an SCB while the shop was closed for Christmas break. Did the build time start January 3rd when everyone would have been back to work?
Yeah, it wouldn't have started while we were gone. Yeah, it would start once we get back and going. So builds, we're running 12 to 16 weeks. So you're looking at, 3 to 4 months. So you're looking at, probably towards the end of April, beginning of May. Some builds were early on, some builds were late on. It just kind of the luck of the draw, I guess, or unluck of the draw, if you will.
Nicholas is asking, what is the neck shape like on a double thick neck?
The shape doesn't change, but what you end up feeling is you feel more shoulder, because what happens is you're going to end up with the shape, and then you're going to have I don't want to say a ledge, but you're going to have a bigger gap on the side, so it'll feel more like a D shape instead of a C shape, if that makes sense.
Omar is asking, does the green one on your right come with a Floyd?
We don't do any 7-string Floyds. We haven't done those in 3 or 4 years now.
Can I order a guitar with a carbon logo?
You can order a Jason Becker. A JB200 is the only model we will put a carbon logo on. And the reason for that is we've stepped things up so much since we're Kiesel. And really, we're holding on to our roots with that JB200, but everything's going to say Kiesel besides that model. And it's really the right thing for us. These aren't your old carbons, so they shouldn't say carbon on them.
Harold is asking, Jeff, can you publish all your pickups' DC resistance numbers and tone charts?
One of these days we will. Yeah. As you guys can see by going on our website, we're not the best at, website and information. We're just really focused on building, innovating, and I know we need some help on literature, and I know it'd help you guys. So we definitely know we need it. It's just I don't want to sit here and say, yeah, we're gonna get right on it. It'll happen at some point. I just don't know when.
Jeff, what is the relationship between the truss rod and carbon rods? Can you explain how they work? Because my brain wants to say that carbon rods would counteract any truss rod movement.
And that's perfect, and that's exactly what they do. So think about it like this. I'm going to explain it in a very simple way, and I think a way that makes the most sense. When you have the carbon fiber rods are trying to stop the neck from moving. And you have the truss rod, and the truss rod is pushing against the neck to give it a little bit of relief. So when you push, the carbon rods flex a little bit, and they want to push back. But the rod is pushing this way. So you end up with a neck that's kind of locked in place, if you will. Once you get the adjustment where you want it, they don't really move. It's kind of like the equivalent of taking a brand new tree, planting it in the ground. You're not going to just tie it down to one side because it doesn't have anything to keep it stable. You're going to tie it down to the other side. So you're pulling on both sides of it. Really, we're pushing on both sides of the neck. And what that's going to do is give you a very stable neck. Because if you adjust your truss rod and you have no carbon fiber rods, well, initially the neck's going to move, but then over time it's going to want to move more. Well, those carbon fiber rods are stopping it from wanting to move more. It's pushing against. So it's exactly what you think. It makes the truss rod work harder, but then it balances it out. So it's a very, very cool setup, and it works amazing. I got guys touring all over the world under normal circumstances in all kinds of climates, never touching their necks, ever. And that's what we want. We want you guys to enjoy your guitars and not have to fool with them.
Any tips on surviving the 3 months until my guitar is ready?
Buy an in stock? I don't know. That's what a lot of people honestly do is they will pick up an in stock for the time being. And I know a lot of guys too, they're constantly ordering them. And I don't know what your situation is financially, but they have a build in the works. And I think that helps because you're able to play something for the time you're waiting, and then you're always excited about getting something new. And if you can afford it, that's a really cool thing. Not everybody can do that though.
Marcin is asking, when getting an LM6X with a solid color, can we get a lower price due to lack of the top?
You would still have a top on it, but we wouldn't put like a flame top on it. We could put a plain maple top. So yes, we would give you a discount on that.
Have you ever considered offering rounded fretboard edges?
It's the first time I've been asked that, I think, on any of these lives ever. So no, I don't have anybody ever wanting that. I actually have the opposite. People usually want more fret to really be able to, have more room for the string not to pull off the fretboard.
I saw my Zeus bass was ready on last week's Q&A. Just wondering how long it takes to get them shipped out.
It usually depends on you guys. So sometimes it depends on a charge balance if you owe money. That's why I always tell people if they know their build is getting close, like if we quoted 12 to 16 weeks and you're week 10, be proactive, call and get your payment in because and I don't know that this is the case with you, but I'm just generalizing. That'll ensure that the instrument, guitar or bass, gets shipped out as soon as possible. Sometimes we get a build done, it goes in the back room, we're so busy, we don't even get a chance to charge a credit card for a week because we're so busy with all the orders. So that's why it's always good to be proactive. The other thing too is when we show builds off, sometimes they're not done, meaning they haven't been final buffed, they haven't gone through final setup. Like for example, this Mark Akuba over here doesn't even have a backplate on it. It's needing to still go through final, get a final setup, and then a backplate put on it. So that could take another day or two. So it's possible your bass wasn't quite ready, but it looked so badass, so we wanted to show it off, and I hope that's okay.
Kyle is asking, I live in Colorado where the temperature and humidity constantly fluctuates. It's very dry here. What's the most stable body, neck, and fingerboard wood for my build?
It's a great question. First thing I would do with bodies is I would try to keep them gloss because that's going to have the best resistance to any kind of weather changes. As far as necks, a 7-piece neck is going to be ideal. If you can't afford that, that's too much on the build because they're $400. You can go down to a 5 or a 3-piece. I would keep walnut as the main runners in that on the outside. Ebony is a great wood. You just have to make sure you keep it oiled. as far as the fretboard. Now, those are all great woods, though. It's going to yield an instrument that's going to want to stay in tune and have less issues.
Scott is asking, do you sell your single coil pickups?
We do. Yep.
What are the best wood choices for someone who dislikes a lot of low end?
If you don't like a lot of low end, you're going to want harder woods, right? So what I would recommend looking at is walnut bodies, black limbo bodies, even a mahogany body is great for that. You probably don't want to chamber it because that will give you typically a little more, not necessarily low end, but a boost in the kind of mid to mid-low area. You could look at our hotter pickups that have higher gain. Gloss finishes are going to help you as well. Neck throughs are going to be a little brighter than a bolt-on. So all those things will help you.
Joe Brooks is asking, what was the best part of the mini vacation last weekend?
I would say the best part of the mini vacation, we went on a 60 miles from our house. We went up to Mount Laguna, and we live in San Diego area, and so we're like 700 feet is our elevation, and we went up to 6,000 feet. And we got up there, it was dry, there was no snow or anything, and it was like probably 7 o'clock at night, got parked. It started to rain a little bit, and so we didn't get out, because it's going to get all muddy. We let the dog out, to go to the bathroom and stuff. But we woke up in the morning to fresh 1.5 inches of snowpack. The whole ground was totally white, and my wife was so excited. She's from Ohio and Pennsylvania is where she grew up, and to see the snow, she was so just excited about it. So that was the best thing for me, is to, take a break, take her somewhere easy and fun, and she had a great time. And then watching our puppy Zelda, our boxer, she's 8 months, run around in the snow and just love it. I wish the kids were there, but the kids are getting older, so they don't want to hang out with mom and dad. Mom and dad aren't cool anymore. Kayla being 19 and Zach will be 21 in 3.5 weeks. 21. It's crazy. Can't believe it. But yeah, Joe, that was probably the best, was seeing Sean, just how excited she was. So that was cool.
Nat is asking, I got some fret sprout on my ZM8 here in Minnesota. Is that common?
So what'll happen is, if the humidity gets really dry, a lot of times in the winter we run our heaters in our houses. We got to stay warm. Well, the heat pulls all the moisture out, right? And so what ends up happening is you get a room that might have very low humidity, maybe 5 or 10%. And when we build everything here, everything's built in a humidity controlled environment at about 40%. So usually what'll happen is, the first time an instrument will go through very low humidity for a long period of time, you will get some fret sprout. And you can take care of that by filing the fret ends down. The great news is once it goes through that and the fret ends are filed down, it's not going to really probably shrink more than that. So in the summer it comes around and you have a lot of humidity, it's going to grow right back. Well, the ends of the tangs go right back inside. It's no big deal. So fret sprout, although it is a bummer and sucks, it's just kind of one of those things that if you don't keep the humidity in your environment right, you're going to have to deal with a little bit, to somewhat of an extent.
I've got a hyperdrive being built. I feel like I need a Cali carb top too. Am I crazy?
No, man. I mean, those are two totally opposite guitars, and it'd be crazy for you to just have to play one style of guitar. The carve tops are amazing. I mean, we posted one, Jesse did, on the Instagram, Kiesel Instagram, and it was a blue one. I think it was an aqua. Thing was gorgeous. I mean, our carve tops are amazing guitars, and I think everybody should have one.
Joey is asking, is there a lucky person who gets to play these guitars when they're complete?
Yep. Albert plays every single one, does a final QC on them, and make sure they're playing and sounding great.
Is it possible to order a guitar with no pickups and electronics installed?
Yep, it is.
What would you recommend for someone who plays surf guitar?
I would probably just stick with like a Delos, to be honest with you. Maybe HSS, pickup configuration, throw a pair of Mark singles in it with the beryllium humbucker. I think that'd be a really cool setup.
Scott Janzer's asking, do you have a favorite individual piece of wood on the wall behind you?
No, what's up, Scott? How are you? Yeah, I didn't do that. The guys got it all together, Brandon and Zach. It was Zach's idea to do that back wall, and then he found a contractor. Wasn't it your idea? Or was it Brandon's idea?
But he was the one that found the contract.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay. So I guess it was a culmination between Brandon and Zach. I saw they both look at each other, so I knew I had something wrong. I just didn't want any part of it. I was like, guys, if you want to do the wall, that's cool. Just keep me out of the thing. So it came out great, though. I really like the wall. If I had to pick a favorite, I would say the flame in the walnut is pretty epic. There's some flamed walnut up on that wall that looks really cool.
How would you describe the difference between lithium and Holdsworth pickups?
I mean, it's a pretty big difference. For one, the Holdsworth being... the magnets are slightly demagnetized, which changes the sound, and they're not dipped in wax, which they're more prone to feedback, but you have this like open and airy sound to them. I mean, you're comparing a pickup that's really designed for the lithium, for rock, more modern music, and then the Holdsworth pickup is for jazz fusion. You got quite a bit difference in tone. And it's not that the lithiums can't clean up, but the Holdsworths can't do what the lithiums do, and the lithiums can't quite do what the Holdsworths do. So you got to kind of decide what you want tone-wise. If you're not sure and you want something that's a great in-between, check out the berylliums. That's what I would look at.
If Kiesel guitars are getting better every 6 months, should I wait 1 year to order my first one?
That's up to you. I can't really answer that. All I can say is we're constantly striving to improve the quality here. And as we improve the quality and our costs go up, we're putting more time and effort into every build. So I have more staff than I've ever had, but yet I'm producing the same amount of guitars. And that's by design, that's on purpose. We're not trying to build 5,000 or 6,000 guitars or 10,000 guitars a year. I don't want to do that. I want to stay at 4,000. And I want to continually increase the quality. So, I can tell you this, the guitars are better now than they were a year ago. And those are better than they were a year before. But some of the improvements and changes that we're making might not even apply to your build. Like, for example, our gloss finishes. They're better than they've ever been. Well, if you're not even buying a gloss guitar, then that doesn't even matter to you. So, it's not necessarily across the board. Every single build is better. It depends on when you buy versus when you would buy again. Like quarter sawn necks. Well, when we were doing, like walnut, it was always quarter sawn. It was just maple, standard maple wasn't quarter sawn. So if you don't get a plain maple neck anyway, if you get a 5-piece or 3-piece or whatever, those were always quarter sawn. So some of the improvements we're making don't apply to maybe your build, is what I would say. There's nothing wrong with getting one now and getting one again in 6 months or a year. That's how we do our thing here.
Mark is asking, can I order a Purple Heart electronics cover for a Kiesel I already own?
Absolutely. Yeah, call my guys.
Jared is asking, any plans for a Jazz Master style offset in the future?
I know my dad at one point had talked about doing something like that. Then we kind of had the whole COVID thing. So I don't know. I mean, it's going to take a while for me to want him back out in the shop, just because he's obviously our highest risk here, and there's no point in risking him for anything. I don't know. I mean, I would say I'd make one for Jim Root. But I've never been a big Jazzmaster fan myself. I know my grandfather liked them. My dad likes that offset body shape a lot. I know a lot of you guys like them. It just has never been my jam. And it's hard for me to get into a project unless I have a driving force, unless I have a reason to do it. You know, and I need a pretty good reason to do it. So,
How much to start a build? I guess how much to start a build?
so our build started about $1,200, and to start one we need 20%.
Justin Lubers is asking, looking to get a K series soon and thinking of a walnut body and 7-piece walnut neck with walnut neck, and curious what pickups would go best with the brighter walnut.
What's up, Justin? Well, I would definitely chamber that thing because you're talking about a heavy instrument. Not that we can't do it, but I would just warn you that walnut bodies are pretty heavy. Pickups, that's a hard one. It kind of depends on what top you put on and what you're going for music. I would probably recommend berylliums or a beryllium neck and an illusionist bridge to try to kind of warm up a little bit of that brightness you're going to be getting from the walnut.
Donald is asking, hey Jeff, what are your thoughts on multi-scale tremolos and headless multi-scale tremolos?
That's a great question. The products that are out there now don't return to pitch good enough for me to want to put them on my guitars. And there's a couple reasons for that. And the biggest reason is if you look at a traditional bridge like this, you can see that the pivot points are both even across the bridge. So the bridge is flat, pivot points are flat with that. What happens with the multi-scale is, let's say you were to keep those points right here, and then, you know, you're fanning, and so now this saddle is way back down here. Well, when you go to push down, well, guess what? This string here is going to raise up really high because the saddle's so far back, and it's going to go out of tune faster than the rest of the strings. So it's not going to function properly. So then if you offset, which I've seen a lot of people do, they offset the saddle for this guy way down here. Well, now when you bend, the whole bridge goes this way. Hey, your strings aren't even lining up over your pickups. What the hell do I want that for? So there hasn't been a good system out there that I want to put my name on and take your hard-earned money for. So other people are doing it and they don't have a problem with it. I do, and I just won't do that to you guys. So until something comes out that we look at and go, this is awesome, we're not going to take your money. We'll let somebody else take your money. And then you'll come back to us because you'll go, wow, that really didn't work, and we want to get one of your guitars. So I'm just going to wait and see what happens. See if somebody makes something that I want to use. And at that point, we'll definitely add it if somebody makes something. But until then, you're going to have to pick, for at least for a Kiesel, between fixed multi-scale or non-multi-scale with a trim. So hope that makes a lot of sense. And, you know, sorry, I just, I'm not after your money. I'm after a long-term relationship, and I want to do the right thing by you guys and the right thing by us here.
What sort of specs would you recommend for that dance gum and dance tone?
Well, you could get the Will Swan signature model. That's exactly what he uses. So the model is the WS6. It's right on the Kiesel site, and just pick between one of the finishes that we offer, and you'll get Will's tone.
Lewis is asking, any chance of neck through blanks ever being offered again?
No. Yeah. You know, I mean, I can't keep up on builds, and the average build is about $2,200. It doesn't make sense for me to go backwards and offer $400 necks. I can't keep up. So we want to just focus on our brand and focus on the guitars, and stopped offering bodies and necks 2 years ago. So I don't see ever offering them again. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Is it possible to do a mixed finish on a hip shot bridge, like a black base plate with gold saddles?
You know, it's not something we allow. It's not to say that you couldn't call Hipshot after you get your instrument from us and order some saddles and then put them on yourself. Be a fun project for you, and all you'd really have to do is just take your measurements where your saddles are at, you know, what distance they are, write it down on a piece of paper, and next time you do a string change, you got yourself a fun project. But it's not something we'll do here. It just takes all that extra time. I've done it on some really special builds, Kiesel editions, things like that. You know, when the customers drop in $5,000 to $9,000. So if you're looking for a Kiesel edition or something real special, then I can make an exception. But without that, it is more work than we want to. We want to stay in our lane, because the moment I start taking a guy and he's pulling bridges apart. Well, by the time he pulls 2 bridges apart and puts them together, he could have set up a whole nother guitar. That's a lot of money right there, and it's just not worth. It's not worth it, to be honest. And I'd have to charge so much that you don't want to pay what I would charge. So I would just buy some saddles from Hipshot and do it yourself.
Have you guys ever completed a build and had to redo it after it was finished for any reason?
Oh yeah, of course. We've been doing this 75 years, so yeah. We've built guitars and sometimes realized we had the wrong options on it. Realized we had the wrong finish. So yeah, we've had some things happen, of course.
Mike is asking, hey Jeff, when you pick up a guitar to hear how it sounds, do you have any go-to riffs?
Not really, no. My go-to riff is Brandon.
Will Kiesel ever offer a 37-inch scale bass?
No plans on that.
Can you get a Delos with the Holdsworth headstock?
You can, yeah.
Lee is asking, do polarities come in single coil?
They do not, no.
Victor is asking, will True Temperament frets ever be available?
I have no plans on adding that. I mean, I won't say it will never be, but I don't really have a reason to offer it.
Someone's asking if those 2 instruments have grabber blue.
Oh, they're not grabber blue. No, these are both Tropic. Yeah, grabber blue is looks like nitrous bottle blue. Like if you're into cars or whatever, you know what that is. But yeah, totally different blue. Yeah, these are more of a teal Miami Vice blue, and so we call it a Tropic.
Kurt is asking, can I customize a hollow body with piezo and trem system?
I believe we can do that. You'll have to call the guys. I believe on our 550 we can do a piezo trem equipped 550.
Sean is asking, can a Theos be ordered with coil splits?
Yeah.
I want a carbon guitar, so does carbon equal Kiesel?
Yeah, so quick story. My grandpa started Kiesel in 1946. 1950, he changed the name to Carvin. 1970, my dad took over the guitar department when he was 20. 2015, the company split in half. Me and my dad took the guitars, rebranded as Kiesel. So Kiesel is the company that owns Carvin guitars. My uncle and his 2 kids took the other half of Carvin, turned it into Carvin Audio, and went out of business a couple years later. So that's really, in a nutshell, what happened. So Kiesel is Carvin guitars. We just wanted to distance ourselves from the rest of the family. We wanted to go back to my grandfather's original name, and here we are, doing better than ever.
Tanner's asking, hey Jeff, if I give you my kidney, can we have ring inlays?
Dang, listen to that, man. Well, I got 2 good working ones already, brother. So if I ever come up short on that, maybe I'll let you know. I don't know what blood type you are. I'm O positive, so we'd have to, I think, have the same blood type. Isn't that how kidneys work? Kidneys or liver or
I think kidneys.
Kidneys, yeah.
Pretty sure. Timothy is asking, will there be an Easter sale?
No. No, the thing is we're so backed up. We're busier than we've ever been. You guys that have been following us for some time now know, like last year we didn't even do a guitar run, We typically would do a limited run once a year and give you guys the ability to get into either your first guitar or get another guitar. And we do some really great value pricing for you guys. And we limit the options and do some really cool looks for you guys. But we weren't able to do that last year because we were that busy. So, I don't see doing an Easter sale. We've done some sales here and there, like we did the Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But, we're kind of limited on what we can do and what really makes sense to do. Because if we can't keep up, if we get to the point where we can't even keep up, then we're just giving money away, And so that's not good either.
Would you do a fully painted fretboard? I saw one from another company, but I feel like you would do it better.
Well, thank you for that. We don't offer fully painted fretboards. We can do the color treatment, where the fretboard, we can get it depending on what color you have on the body. And in some cases, I've done fretboards that match the body. Maybe you've seen those. But we can do, quite a bit with that, with the color treatments on the boards. I do all those myself.
Pedro's asking, what's your favorite guitar you've ever built?
That's a hard one. Probably my favorite model. It's still the K series, but the reality is that's out of reach for a lot of people. So probably the Aries is my favorite model. And I can't think of a particular guitar like my favorite guitar. There's so many that you get different feels from, and they don't have to always be expensive guitars. Some of my guitars that give me the best feelings are, some of the more affordable ones even, like you look at the Lee McKinney, you look at the Mark Akubos, those have been great guitars, and, it's a real good feeling, to build something for guys like that you're a fan of, and not just of their bands and their music, but them, you're friends with them and their family, and get to do that for them. It's really cool. We get to work with a lot of great people. Very fortunate, very lucky. So some of my favorite guitars I've built, you get to see them on stage. It's pretty awesome.
Can we pay for an in-stock guitar neck to be shaved to the thin neck profile?
No, it's not something we'll do. Sorry. That'd be a lot of work. It's not that, we're opposed to a lot of work. We just don't have the time. We're not doing any refinish work. With in-stocks, we're kind of limited to like swapping pickups. That's really about the most we'll do on an in-stock. So I'm getting the dreaded sign of spinning the wheel of death. Should just have death on there. That should be one of the things. Like, we should just end the live. It's over. All right. So I'm really going to hope like hell we don't get story time. Those of you guys have seen this, I just cringe. And of course, it's on there like 4 times. We're not getting story time. Movie TV. I had that last time. Movie and TV recommendations. Okay.
You have to spin it again.
I mean, that's hard because what ends up happening is there's like movie, TV recommendations on there 3 times. So, I got, pretty decent chance of getting that. So movie, TV recommendations. Last week was The Peaky Blinders. It's a really good show. And this week, I'm going to go with a movie recommendation. And I'm going to tell you guys Westworld. Those of you guys that are younger, you might not like it. But those of you guys that have seen the movie or seen the HBO series Westworld, it came from a 70s film, like late 70s. I think it was like 78, 79, called Westworld. That's where the whole concept came from. It's an old movie. It's not going to be cutting edge, special effects and stuff. But the concept was really cool and gave birth to that show that, I loved season 1. Season 1 of Westworld was great. And then the other 2 seasons just okay for me. But if you liked Westworld, the series, the TV show, check out the movie, the original movie from the late 70s. And I think you'll dig it. It was definitely a good watch, and check it out. On that note, do we have time for anything else, or are we done?
You can spin the wheel again if you want.
I don't really want to spin that fucking thing, man. I'm afraid of the wheel. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Ah, son of a bitch. I just don't want story time, man. Like, I don't ever know what to talk about, because when you're sitting over here and you're talking, you just talk about something natural. I'm not really thinking about like events or stories or Savannah's even creeping. Son of a bitch. So I saw Savannah like move the cart and like creep over to see it. Oh God. I think, you know what? You guys should have got me. You should have made a separate wheel for April Fools, and even though it's not April Fools, it's the closest we have today. Should have made one where it was just all story time. I wouldn't have known until like I looked down. But story time. Let's think about this. Zach, you got any references or anybody? Savannah, Jesse, Brandon, anybody got anything that like a topic they want me to talk about? Maybe
Funny Nam story.
Funny Nam story. I mean, it's a hard one. A funny Nam story. I mean, we have so much fun. So there's a lot of times when we're having a lot of fun, but a funny one. I mean, aside from the characters and stuff that are there and some of the people that come to the booth and stuff, and you're like, you know, just the way they present themselves and stuff, you get a good kick out of some of that stuff. But I'm having trouble thinking about a funny Nam. Oh, I got one. So this last NAM, so 2020, when the coronavirus was, people were starting to talk about it, but I actually posted this on my story, and I think it's still on my NAM story. So if you go to my Jeff Kiesel Instagram, you can check out like a lot of posts I do. And at the very end, there was this old dude, and I swear he was 2 knuckles deep up in his nose. And I'm watching him for like, I don't know, a good 30 seconds before I started videoing him. And I start videoing this guy. And I made a comment like, that's how the coronavirus, you know, spreads or something. Not exactly like a funny story, but like at the end of NAM, the show is over. We're breaking the booth down. And then I'm so tired and I see this guy like out there just totally going to town on digging up his nose. It was, it gave me a good chuckle. But I would say for NAM, it's just, in general, there's a lot of interesting people that you meet. You know, the guys will testify to that one. Anybody that's been to NAM, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And just walking around and meeting people it's pretty cool. You know, after the show, I don't get to leave the booth really. And, you know, right now we're not registered for NAM 2022. We're not registered for it. And Brandon, when's the deadline?
Like next week, I think.
Yeah. So, and I know Summer NAM, they've already, for this year, they already pushed back the deadline. They're like, last chance. They keep going last chance because I bet a lot of people aren't going to be signing up and going. We will not be going to Summer NAM. And right now, we're not planning on going to Winter NAM. I think it's pretty crazy that they're trying to push us this early when we don't know what the climate's going to be like, you know, like how is everything looking? And, you know, I think it's a little early, and I get where they're at. They've got to try to plan a show, but they also got to know if you're pushing people this early, you're going to get a lot of no's. And for me, it's a no right now if they're asking us to go. I think a lot of you are going to be mixed on that. Some of you guys are going to be like, you should totally go. This is no big deal. And some of you guys are like, you're doing the right thing by staying back. So I feel like we're doing the right thing by not going. And just trying to keep everybody as healthy as possible. And I just don't see the point in risking anything for really what we go for is to meet you guys and to meet artists. And we won't be able to do that full capacity like normal. And I like meeting you guys, you know, and those of you guys that have come by the booth, you guys know that. You know, I try to give you time, and obviously I don't have a lot of it because a lot of people want to come by and say hi. And, you know, I could be in the middle of doing an interview or something like that. But, you know, I like to interact with you guys. So what do we got for time?
No time.
No time. So what has everybody got going on for this weekend? Anybody doing anything fun? We're going to get together with some family at our house outside. And just try to have a good time this weekend. And then we start racing again. We're racing next weekend in Vegas, weekend after that in Northern California, weekend after that in LA, weekend after that in Texas. So 4 race weekends in a row. Looking forward to that. Definitely excited about that. And on that note, if you guys have questions, as always, call my guys.